Oh no. Howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show. Where are you?
I'm right here.
Haha.
Hello.
They're all switcherooed. I haven't been here. I don't know where they're at. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show.
What's up, guys?
No, goodness. Our pets' heads are falling off.
See, this is what happens. You take like a day off and suddenly everything falls apart.
And it was so not a day off.
Oh, yeah, it was. You had a vacation, basically. You good?
Yep, there we go.
You got to take a vacation.
Yeah, to Temple, Texas for our executive leadership
I'm
thing.
sorry. I'm sorry. I was in the office.
I was in a freezing cold airport hangar talking about mac and cheese a lot, actually. It was interesting.
What an odd thing to say.
I feel like I learned a lot about mac and cheese.
Welcome into the pre-show for the free show.
Did you know people sell like
mac and cheese?
Well, yes. But apparently like Cheeto dust, like the dust on Cheetos is like from a separate place.
So like the Cheeto Corporation or whoever makes Cheetos, you're telling me that You're telling me that those things come separate? They come in like different pieces?
I can't verify that 100%, but that's what it sure sounded like. So if someone can do some research on this, that would be great.
That's excellent. I have a small follow-up. Does that mean I can just buy a bag of Cheeto dust?
That would be sick. You know how funny that would be to put that in like like they have the cards that have the confetti that like, what if it was like, ha, you just got Cheeto dust.
Do you know how much fun it would be to make Fun Dip with
Frito dust? Dude.
I'm an idea man.
You know what else that would be really good for?
What's that?
You know when you do like a breaded chicken or something, like putting that in breadcrumbs, like the Cheeto dust in breadcrumbs, and then being able to use that as like I don't know what you would call that.
Breading.
Yeah. Breading.
Wow. Yeah. Or like fried chicken, like with Cheeto dust in it.
Yeah.
I could be on board with that.
That'd be sick. Have you had the Cheetos popcorn?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's a big player. They implemented that at the UNT concession stands. It was while I was still in college, so I would say probably around like 2018, 2019.
Big hitter.
Oh, man, it's good. Big
hitter.
It's a simple concept, but the simplicity hits.
I got a very nice compliment this weekend from... I was at a meeting I texted you this, but I was at a meeting on Sunday with a group that I volunteer with, and one of the students came up to me, and they're like seniors in high school, and one of the students came up to me and said, "Hey, I saw you on TV," and I took a photo and I sent it to our group chat, and we all thought that was really cool. I'm like, "Oh, hey, thanks, I appreciate you watching." He's like, "Yeah, I was at Chili's with friends, and let me tell you something.
When it hits, it hits.
All I have ever wanted is to be spotted at Chili's. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Like." You and I haven't, like, do you know that in all of our time dating, you and I, we've never gone to Chili's together?
That's true. I've been to Chili's. We have ordered in Chili's here. You weren't there, though. And then I have been to Chili's with our president, Adam Hochfelder. I have been to Chili's with Mallory, but that, like, actually for a work thing, not, like, we go to Chili's all the time. But, no. That seems like a miss.
Can I?
Well, it's because there's another establishment with darn near the same name in Louisville that we also like to go if we ever find one day out of the year we could go get lunch.
Can I put in a call here?
Yeah.
So something we're not at liberty to announce quite yet, but we're going to be up here on a non-usual work day here coming up soon.
Yeah, non-usual office work day.
Non-usual office work day. We'll be up here in the office for it. Feels like that could be a real opportunity.
I'm thinking we're ordering in some Chili's.
To expense some Chili's.
Dude, you know what the best part about expensing Chili's is? Everything.
Yeah.
But getting the side of chips and salsa from Chili's to go is the GOAT veteran move. Because it is way larger of an amount than I would say you typically get in the restaurant.
Well, yeah, because they'll bring them. They'll come reload you.
But you get the full bag of chips, and the bag is the one where it's sealed, and you're supposed to put it in the microwave, so that way you can reheat it at any point in time. So the chips are always super fresh, and the salsa comes super cold.
Did I ever tell you my friend's mom designed the chili logo?
What?
Yeah.
That seems like super pertinent information for everyday life purposes that you haven't decided to just randomly share with me on October 21st after 5 years. Yeah. I thought we were friends.
Shout out to my friend Cassie and her mom, Ann.
So she hand drew the chili? Mm-hmm. That's so sick.
Yeah. I got some cool friends.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You got to keep cool friends around because you're not cool. So, balance, I guess.
Exactly right. Life's all about
I can't believe you haven't told me that.
Yeah.
I'm upset. I'm actually personally offended. You think you know someone.
You do. I like to hold some things back sometimes.
I asked you to officiate my wedding, and I didn't know that your friend's mom designed the chili.
Listen.
I'm hurt. I don't know if I can continue on with the show.
Got to keep some surprises in the bag.
Fair.
At the Theme Expo. Yes, y'all. From the new Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas. It is Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the places, or you'll listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305. She is Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends. Happy Monday.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
So, you're getting married in 3 months.
Oh, jeez. Yes.
Right?
It's very quickly approaching.
It's approaching.
I am super excited. Let me preface it with that. I am very excited.
Oh, God.
But also,
I wish you'd never asked.
I'm doing that in the middle of trying to do playoff stuff, It's a lot.
It's coming at an alarming rate.
Yes, it is.
My question for you is, do I have to call you by your new last name?
No. No.
Can I?
No. Well, yeah, you can.
On the show?
No. No.
There's no fun in that.
It's not that. There is no fun in that.
Today.
You gotta let me have at least a little bit of pickle left in my life.
Today is Monday, October 21st, 2024. 38 days till Thanksgiving, folks.
Oh, my. It's all coming so fast.
It's all coming so fast. Happy birthday to Kim Kardashian.
All right.
And also happy birthday to Glenn Powell.
Oh, yeah. That's a much better one.
Glenn Powell is 36 today.
Handsome fella.
Happy birthday, Glenn Powell. We mentioned this on Thursday, but happy birthday to Texas Football Today.
Yeah. How about that? 9 years.
9 years. That's
about 8 years too long.
We're now in our 10th year. So. Anyway, it's episode 1809. On today's show, folks, big show.
Big beefy Monday.
Got Monday Morning Fallout. We'll overreact to the football weekend, including plays of the week that I literally couldn't separate, so we're just having 2 plays of the week. Then, we're going to be joined by the head coach of the undefeated 8-0 Houston Worthing Colts. Coach Brandon Ellis will join us live from Harris County, talk a little bit about what's going on with the Colts as they are gunning for their best season in a long time. We'll hear from Coach Ellis coming up here in a little bit. Then we will unveil the Week 9 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football State Rankings. Then we'll have the Dave Campbell's Texan Live Top 10 Plays of the Week. We'll round it all out with This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting. And then final thoughts / mailbag. So waiting for your questions in the comments if you get those in. Pot right? Sound good?
Sounds good.
Good. Okay. Pickle?
No.
Two-way fish for Fedor.
Thank
That's what I was going to say.
No, it was
That's
not.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You can't prove otherwise.
Yep. Let's go. TJ Hudson, Jacob Sherman saying howdy from the 210. Shout out 210. Nice. Just Chad said yeet.
Stop.
Also good.
No.
And 03 Bodied Stepside. Sup again. Haven't seen him in a while.
Welcome back.
Her or whoever that is.
Them. Welcome back, friends. We do appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us. And now, something I was only going to say right now. Pickle! Hit the air raid sign for Monday Morning Fallout. Monday Morning Fallout, when we overreact to the football weekend across the state of Texas. And I would say there's a lot to overreact to, but we'll get to my opening kick here. Opening kick, chalkiest week ever, but almost not.
Yeah.
It was an astonishingly chalky week in Texas high school football in week 7 or week 8 rather. There were mild surprises, but there were games we figured to be close. But I don't know that there was necessarily any real shockers across state, which is strange because sometimes we talked about this last week on Thursday's show that we knew week 8 from a slate perspective was a little bit slow-ish, at least not as top-heavy as it has been in the past. Mm-hmm. But those weeks tend to be the ones that surprise us, tend to be the ones that shock us, tends to be the ones that there's some game we never saw coming that suddenly everybody's talking about. I will say I think there was one, and that falls in the almost not category.
Yep.
And it's Atascocita and Kingwood.
We spent so much time focusing on the fact that the Lake Travis Dripping Springs game could be a overlooked game. Mm-hmm. We did not give that one its due diligence.
Oh, no, we didn't.
That was shocking.
Kingwood gives Atascocita everything they want before Atascocita pulls it out late. And escapes is the only word to put it, with a 1-point victory. And we'll talk about Atascocita moving forward and what that means. The bottom line is you stack it in the left-hand column. We say win your clunkers. They won a clunker. It has major implications moving forward, but in the end, they won. When you take a look at the Texas high school football landscape, it was extremely chalky. I put this on Twitter, and please listen to please stay tuned to the rankings here coming up here in a little bit. But the 100, I think of the 100, and I think it's 35 teams that are ranked across the Texas high school football landscape, across all the divisions, they went 112-3. Okay, 112-3, and only one of those was to an unranked team. So it was a remarkably chalky week across the state of Texas. But stay tuned. Time for the game of the week. Game of the week: Frisco Panther Creek 46, Lake Dallas 44 in 4 overtimes.
You should have heard the no that Vianney Moreno let out when we saw this one go final. A Lake Dallas Falcon herself.
I know it hurts, but this was a game that came down to the wire. It sounds like so Matt Stepp was at the game and he was live tweeting it, and I'm glad he was, because it sounds like Frisco Panther Creek had this game sewn up and then fumbled a snap late, gave the ball back to Lake Dallas. Lake Dallas scores to force overtime. They end up going to 4 overtimes, and Frisco Panther Creek escapes with a 46-44 win in quadruple overtime. Yeah, that'll do, Pig. Pretty good. I like that kind of stuff. That's certainly got to be the game of the week. Time for my play of the week. And I say play of the week, I mean plays of the week. Okay?
But not the top 10 plays of the week yet. That's still to come.
So I'll take you exactly through what happened. Last night I was scripting Monday Morning Fallout, and I was like, man, I don't know if I saw a highlight that really stuck out. So I threw it out on Twitter. I said, hey, what was the play of the week? Like, just send me your and I got inundated with plays. Mm-hmm. And there were like 13 that could be on this list. And I ended up narrowing it down to 2, and I literally cannot choose between these 2. So I want you to vote in the comments on which one is the best one. The first one, we're going to Fort Bend Crawford, to running back Dedrick Polk, who has a 3-yard touchdown run. And you're thinking the same thing that I was, which is...
Okay, cool.
Neat.
So did 8 bajillion other people.
The 3-yard touchdown run is perhaps the most boring score in all of football. I mean that sincerely.
Yeah.
Like, how many 3-yard touchdown runs have you seen in your life?
Yeah, more than I can count.
Correct.
It's not even like as fun as a 1-yard tush push, you know?
When I tell you that Dedrick Polk, you have never seen a 3-yard touchdown run like this. My first play of the week.
Oh my goodness. What in the world?
For the podcast listeners, he gets caught like, it looked like right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm playing that again.
And gets hurled backwards, okay? Gets hurled backwards, like yeeted backwards. And essentially gets thrown back where he somehow like does a somersault and keeps his balance. Watch this, okay. Yeah, he's behind the line of scrimmage. He gets yeeted.
Good. I mean, he went full helicopter.
Does a cartwheel. He stays on his feet. Shout out to the quarterback who steadies him. And then he runs off right tackle for a touchdown.
That is insane.
When I told you, it's the wildest 3-yard touchdown run I've ever seen.
Yeah, because realistically, he ran for about 15 to 20 yards to get the actual touchdown itself.
Right. So Dedrick Polk, Fort Bend Crawford. That's my first play of the week.
Oh, goodness.
Here's my second play of the week, okay? And it's Brownsboro wide receiver Man Scott, okay? Brownsboro runs a trick play here, and you'll never believe like the catch that's made on a trick play. It's an amazing play on a normal play. You add in the fact that it's a trick play, and it just adds to it. Here's Man Scott from Brownsboro.
1st and 10. They're going to throw it outside. They're going to double pass here. Going deep. That's Man Scott. What a catch by Man Scott! Wow. A one-handed grab. He's going to go almost the whole way. Just tackled at the 1. Highlight reel right there for Man Scott. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, that put Odell to shame.
By the way, he's like great coverage.
Yeah.
And he just goes up and like hauls it in one-handed. And I watched it back. He never brings the other hand in. So he does that. The only thing that would have made that better if he scored, but instead, like, again, shout out to the defender who did like everything he could. And he tracked him down at the 1-yard line.
That was full extension backwards, man.
So you have a catch and you have a run. You guys let me know in the comments which is the play of the week because I couldn't decide. Now you understand.
Yes, that's difficult.
It's time for my dude of the week. Hashtag Dudes Rock. It's the Dudes Rock Dude of the Week. And you got to let me know which dude rocked the hardest. Use the hashtag Dudes Rock. And we're going to Eagle Mountain. And you're thinking, wait a second. I've never heard of Eagle Mountain.
They're new.
And that's okay. They are new. Of course, Coach Jeremy Mullins left Toller to take over Eagle Mountain. They got a big win over Berkman this past week, their first district win. Congratulations to them. And running back Terry Starks went full workhorse in this game. 36 carries, 292 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the ground in their 56-26 win over Burke Burnett. Full workhorse was Terry Starks, the running back from Eagle Mountain. He's my hashtag Dudes Rock Dude of the Week. Time for the NFL Minute. It was a big weekend in the NFL. Cowboys did not play.
Thank God.
Texans, tough loss to Green Bay. But one person who, of course, was paying attention to all of the ins and outs, the intricacies, and the insider information at the NFL was Dave Campbell's Texas Football Chief NFL Insider, my mom.
Hi, this is Tep Mom reporting the NFL Minute for this week. Detroit Lions beat the Minnesota Vikings 31-29. These Detroit Lions played Texas high school football. Offensive lineman Connor Galvin went to Katy High School. Offensive lineman Marcus Davenport went to San Antonio Stevens. Ennis Rakestraw went to Duncanville High School. Levi, this is going to be a good one, Owutsugriki went to Allen High School. He's a defensive lineman. And tight end Brock Wright went to Cy-Fair High School. Finally, Jake Bakes, their kicker, went to Tomball High School and Texas State. And he got the winning field goal for them. That's it for this week. Have a good one.
Thanks, Mom. Great as always, insightful as always. The insider information that we rely on here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
This is why people tune into the show.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Stock up, Shiner.
Yeah.
Remember when they were 0-3?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're the favorite in Region 4. Like, I don't think there's really any doubt about it. They get a really impressive win over Fall City, a smothering win over Fall City, 21-3. And they've been doing that to everyone, okay? Their defense, I mentioned this on the picks video last week. Even when they were losing ball games, their defense was spectacular. And it was spectacular again last week against Fall City. Stock up big time on Shiner. Stock down, Frisco Emerson.
Not what they used to be.
It might be over.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, Frisco Emerson played in the state semifinal last year. You remember they lost to South Oak Cliff in the state semifinal. And we had high hopes for them. I think they started the year like top 5 in our 582 rankings. Well, they now have 3 losses on the year. They lose this past week kind of in like runaway fashion to Lovejoy. Watch that space. But they lose to Lovejoy last week by a final score of 48-7. You're thinking, okay, well, they're 5-3. What's the big deal? Here's the issue. They are 3-3 in district play, District 4-5A Division 2 play. They're 3-3, and this week they play Melissa. Mm-hmm. And straight up, if they lose to Melissa, they're gonna miss the playoffs.
Which is wild.
They've already lost to Lovejoy. They've already lost to Walnut Grove. That's the one that kills them. And now they've lost to they've lost to Anna. 4 losses, and the 4 teams that are ahead of you, you don't have head ahead. It's Jover. It's Jover. Watch the space. To go from semifinals to out of the playoffs would be a pretty
substantial fall.
Pretty substantial fall there for the Mavericks. But watch this space. A disappointing loss there this past week against Lovejoy. And now it's time for the Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him. Player of the week.
And now, the Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him. Player of the week.
Hey y'all, Matt Stepp with Dave Campbell's Texas Football, live at my hotel in beautiful San Antonio, Texas, watching Texas and Georgia. But I'm not here to talk about SEC football. I'm here to talk about the Week 8 Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him award. And the winner of the Week 8 Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him award is none other than Frisco Panther Creek junior wide receiver Jalen Lott. And Friday night's incredible 4 overtime, 46-44 win over Lake Dallas. The junior wide receiver had 13 catches for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he added 25 yards rushing and a touchdown on the ground. Congrats, Jalen. You, sir, have got that dog in you.
This has been the Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him player of the week.
Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate that. My final shot. Biggest week ever? So we talked last week about Week 8, kind of a down week. Mm-hmm. We had to search a little bit and find games that were super exciting, the top tier games that we've been looking for. Last week a little bit lacking. I mean this in all sincerity. I mean exactly what I say. I have a hard time thinking of a week of regular season Texas high school football in my 14 years on this job like we've got coming up this week. It's ludicrous. It is outrageous. Okay? An incomplete list of games. Mm-hmm. Columbus Hitchcock. Pretty good. Atascocita North Shore. Pretty good. Westlake Lake Travis. Pretty good. Panhandle Sunray. Prosper Allen, Richland Aledo, Goliad Edna, Gilmer Pleasant Grove, Bushland Shallowwater, Stephenville Lampasas, Pearland Shadow Creek, Holiday City View, Grand Saline and Lone Oak, a matchup of unbeatens, Carrollton Creekview and West Mesquite, a battle of unbeatens, Nederland PNG, Mid-County Madness for the district title, McAllen Memorial and Edinburgh Vela, Weslaco East and PSJ North, El Paso Riverside and El Paso Austin, Pearland and I already mentioned that one. El Campo and Bay City, the longest running consecutive district or like rivalry in Texas high school football. Holland and Mason, Iowa Colony, Fort Bend Marshall, Katy Peyto Katy, Lomita and Jonesboro, Blanket and Zephyr, Llano and Randolph.
Stingham.
It is a ludicrous week of Texas high school football. It is shocking. I literally cannot remember a week of games like this in the regular season. This is the type of slate that I think matches up with like a regional semifinal week.
Yeah.
Like a third round of the playoffs type week where it's just like, man, all these games are awesome. This might be the biggest week of Texas high school football we've ever seen. So consider that. It's my final shot. That's Monday Morning Fallout. We're at Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com, TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Of those games that I listed, like half of them are on Texan Live this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna let you tell the people just how important that was before I just interrupted you every single sentence and went live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
So let me just tell you.
Get ready for Thursday.
So again, here's an incomplete list of the games on Texan Live this weekend. Ready? Which you can get at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Katy and Katy Peyto, North Shore Tascasita, Columbus Hitchcock, Barbers Hill Galveston Ball, Westlake Lake Travis, Chapel Hill Pine Tree, Nederland PNG, Mid-County Madness, Pearland Shadow Creek, West Orange Stark Silsbee, Richland Aledo. All those games live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. You can watch them as part of your Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscription.
All you have to do is subscribe once and you can watch every single one of those
all
games.
Of them.
You
That's
can
not a pay-per-view
channel
thing.
surf
Yes.
through all of them.
You can channel surf.
Like if you miss being able to channel surf, get to Texan Live.
It is a ludicrous week. There's never been a better time. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Coming up here in just a moment, one guy who's feeling pretty good is the head coach of the Houston Worthing Colts. Coach Brandon Ellis will join us, but first a word from these valued partners.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
30-yard line, the 20, the 10. Touchdown!
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wing's drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
Back here on Texas Football Today, I'm Greg. That's Ashley. Pickle, let's go to the hotline. Let's go to Harris County. We are pleased to be joined by the head coach of the undefeated 8-0 Houston Worthing Colts. Coach Brandon Ellis joins us. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing today?
Doing excellent. How are things at Worthing these days?
I was doing all right. It's a good day right now.
I would say so. You guys are 8-0. 8-0 for the first time in program history since 2001. And this is, of course, come off of last year. You guys went 8-3. I'm curious, if I had come to you before the season and said, hey, Coach, we're going to be talking ahead of Week 9, and you guys are going to be 8-0, do you think that would have surprised you?
That would have surprised me. It definitely would have. This has been a big surprise for us.
Especially one of the things that I look at with the way that your team is playing is the defense has been absolutely relentless this year. The defense has been terrific from the word go. What has you guys playing so well defensively right now?
Well, our defensive front line, we got some pretty good guys up front, and Ja'Cory Thurman and Ernest Briscoe, they've been holding it down for us up front. They've been stuffing the run every play. It's been amazing to watch them play right now.
The other, one of the other things about this team that I look at is you guys started off the season, against Rosenberg Terry and then against Wharton, and you guys went out there and really shut them down offensively. How important were those two games ahead of a long district season there in District 11? How important were those two wins, especially over 5A team like Terry, to kind of setting the tone for the rest of the year?
Well, those two games were very important for us because for once we were able to show that we could shut down an outside of HISD school. Mm-hmm. That's something that's kind of been the stigma over our kids, our program. We couldn't get out the first round. We can play well in HISD, but once we go outside of HISD, it's really not a competition. But so those two games really showed our kids and our program and our community that we can play with those outside schools.
Talking with Brandon Ellis, the head coach of the Worthing Colts here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, on the offensive side, it's hard not to notice what your quarterback, Vashon Smith, has been doing this year. Just a dual threat guy who has been lighting it up every single week. The numbers are very impressive, but as your QB1, what is it about Vashon Smith that really sets him apart?
The whole team follows behind him. He's what you call a true leader. He's been a Sunnyside kid since day one. He's played with the Little League team, stayed in the area for middle school, and came right to us at high school. So he's always been a coach, and the kids really listen to him when he speaks.
I want to ask you about your time there at Worthing. This is you're in your 15th year there at Worthing. I don't want to date you here,
yes,
Coach,
sir.
But going back to 2009, you take over this program. What do you think are maybe the biggest differences between that program you took over in 2009 and the one that is rolling right now?
Well, at that time, we were going through some issues as well with our school. There was a couple of things about the school being closed, and so we weren't getting the kids that were supposed to come to us, that was zoned to us. So once we started getting past that and showing that we can win, and we have good coaches at Worthing, we started bringing those kids back into our program.
Coach, you mentioned, the idea of winning a playoff game and stuff like that. It's been almost 30 years now since Worthing has gone back-to-back winning outright district championships. When you guys talk about goal setting and stuff like that, how high on that list is winning the district championship for you guys?
Well, last year that was our big push. Winning the district, that was something that we wanted to show to everybody in our district that we're not a doormat. The district's going to go through Worthing. And so this year, of course, we did have that goal, but our goal was to get out of that first round this year. So basically, we want to make sure we're seated so we can play a good team so we can get out of that first round.
And finally, Coach, I want to ask you, it's on to the next one. You guys take on Scarborough this week. Scarborough's struggling a little bit. But I want to ask you a little bit about keeping your guys focused. I think that 8-0. There's going to be some press clippings. Hey, we're talking on statewide air right now. I want to ask you about keeping your guys focused. How do you keep your guys focused going into a game where you guys are 8-0? This is a Scarborough team that's struggling. How do you focus your guys and make sure that they're locked in?
Well, one of the things that we're doing exactly today, we're going to reset today. We're going to make sure the message is still put right in front of their forehead that we have to win the first round playoff game. None of this matters if we go home in the first round. So that's one of the few things that we just keeping it on their mind that, hey, the playoffs is coming. It's a new season. This is cool. We've been here before. We're used to it. A lot of these guys were on that team last year. So they've come used to the cameras and the interviews. So now it's time to take it to another level.
He's Brandon Ellis. He's the head coach of the undefeated Worthing Colts. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the fantastic start, and let's keep it going, shall we?
I appreciate you guys. Absolutely. And I definitely will try.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. There he goes. Brandon Ellis, head coach of the Worthing Colts, join us here. Texas Football Today. The turnaround there has been really remarkable. I mean, this is a team that last year they went 8-3, won the district championship. That was their first outright district championship. I had this here. That was their first outright district championship since 2013. And it was their first winning season since 2013. And now they're 8-0 for the first time since 2001.
That's wild.
I mean, they're rolling right now. And I think that it's important to remember, that's why I wanted to ask about that game against Terry in the opener. Mm-hmm. And look, Rosenberg-Terry, that's punching up. That's a 5A. They punch up and they beat Terry. And I think that was really important, again, like he mentioned, just to prove, like, hey, we're not just a good HISD team. We're not just a team that's good for playing in Houston ISD. We can play with anybody. We can go out there, and if you want to bow up, we can bow up. I thought that was really important for setting the tone for them. And now, all of a sudden, they're 8-0. They play Scarborough this week, and they close at Wheatley. That'll be a big game. Probably, let me look at the standings. Yeah, Wheatley's 4-2 in district. So Scarborough, or rather Worthing, can lock up the district championship with a win here. But you want to talk about finishing 10-0. They have not had an undefeated regular season since, let's see if I can find this real quick, since that would be ever. So it'd be the first undefeated regular season since they started playing football in 1967.
How cool is that?
That'd be pretty cool. And they are 2 wins away from it. It's big doings down there in Sunnyside. We appreciate Coach Brandon Ellis joining us here on Texas Football Today. We are Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com. Talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. All righty, Pickle. It is time to roll out the Week 9 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football Rankings. Of course, we are the official rankings provider of the Associated Press. These are the official Texas High School Football statewide rankings, the ones that, if you see number 1 Carthage, then it says that's because we say that Carthage is the number 1 team. Mm-hmm. These are the official rankings of record. Now, a word here. You might have heard earlier that ranked teams won 112-3 this past week.
So clearly there's a lot of chaos in the rankings.
What I'm saying is lower those expectations a little bit. There are some changes, but don't be surprised if I tell you all about the chalk that we've got. Let's start with our Class 6A rankings, where there is a little bit of movement, but it's all located at the bottom of the rankings. Specifically, number 20, Katy Jordan, drops out of the rankings with their loss to Katy. And as a result, U.S. Trinity nudges up a spot to number 20, Cibolo Steele up a spot to 21, Denton Geyer up a spot to 22, San Antonio Brennan up a spot to number 23, Pearland up a spot to number 24, and new to the rankings, back into the rankings, I should say, the Shadow Creek Sharks back into the rankings after, despite being idle. That sets up a very, very, very big game this week against, as Shadow Creek takes on, I have this here, they take on Pearland. So this is 24 versus 25 coming up this week in what is a monster week. Of course, the top 10 remains unchanged. Duncanville, North Shore, North Crowley, Atascocita, South Lake Carroll, Lake Travis, DeSoto, Humble, Summer Creek, Allen, and Coppell. I can already spot a handful of ranked matchups in 6A for this week. To 5A we go, or 5A Division 1, no changes at all. The top 10 remains unchanged, including the top 5, Aledo, Frisco, Lone Star, A&M Consolidated, Denton Ryan, and Highland Park. 5A Division 2, exactly the same. Top 10 remain unchanged, including the top 5. Port Neches, Groves, South Oak Cliff, Alamo Heights, Texas High, and Argyle are your top 5 in 5A Division 2. To 4A we go, where 4A Division 1, untouched. Everyone was a winner this week with the exception of Salina, who took a well-deserved week off. Top 5 remains unchanged. Salina, Austin, LBJ, Alvarado, Stephenville, and El Campo. El Campo Bay City this week is a big-time matchup. 4A Division 2 we go. 4A Division 2, also unchanged. Top 10 remains the same, including the top 5. Carthage, Brock, Gilmer, Sinton, and Seminole are your top 5 teams this week. To 3A we go. 3A Division 1, entirely unchanged. Everyone was a winner this week. Top 10 unchanged, including your top 5. Columbus, Malakoff, Bushland, Edna, and Hitchcock. Oh, yeah, Columbus and Hitchcock this week. Plus Goliad and Edna. I'm telling you, it's going to be a massive week. If you think these rankings are boring this week,
wait till next week.
Wait till this time next week. 3A Division 2, entirely unchanged. Top 10 unchanged, including your top 5. Gunner, East Bernard, Poth, Lexington, and New Diana are your top 10 teams, or top 5 teams, rather. To 2A we go. 2A Division 1, The top 10 remains unchanged. Everyone was a winner with the exception of Refugio, who was idle. Your top 5 is Stanford, Refugio, Ganado, Sunray, and Hawley. Huge game this week between number 4 Sunray and number 7 Panhandle. To 2A Division 2 we go, where the top 10 entirely unchanged. Everyone was a winner with the exception of 6 and 7, Stratford and Windthorst, who were idle. Your top 5 remains unchanged. Mart, Collinsville, Munster, Albany, and Groover. Certainly there's some movement in the 6-man ranks, right? To 1A Division 1 we go, where the top 10 remains unchanged. Top 10 remains unchanged. Everyone's a winner with the exception of May, Jonesboro, and St. Joe, who are idle. Your top 5 this week are Gordon, Abbott, Whiteface, May, and Buena Vista. A couple big games coming down the pike, but for now, unchanged. Finally, 1A Division 2, where there's finally some movement. The top 5 remains unchanged. Jayton, Richland Springs, Oglesby, Motley County, and Benjamin. But Amherst loses to Whit Harrell, and they crash out of the rankings from number 9. As a result, Blanket, still unbeaten, moves up a spot to number 9. Big game this week against Zephyr. And then Whit Harrell grabs the number 10 spot back into the rankings with their big win over Amherst. To the private school ranks we go, where there was one very big game. San Antonio Holy Cross defeats Dallas First Baptist 34-14 in a game played neutral site in Robinson. As a result, Holy Cross remains number 1. Dallas First Baptist drops 1 spot from number 3 to number 4 because they neutral site against the number 1 team in the state. They are the number 4 team in the state. Fort Worth All Saints grabs that number 3 spot there with their win over Lubbock Trinity Christian, and Argyle Liberty Christian keeps on rolling. They get a big win over Dallas Parish Episcopal. And finally, in the private school 6-man ranks, nothing to see here. All 5 were winners with the exception of Wichita Christian, who was idle. Your top 5, Houston Emory Weiner, Pasadena First Baptist, Fredericksburg Heritage, Corpus Christi Annapolis, and Wichita Christian. I tried to warn you, TexasFootball.com/rankings. You probably could just copy-paste it from last week with the exception of a couple changes. So I want you to think about that. TexasFootball.com/rankings, you can find that. We had 2 teams drop out of the rankings. Mm-hmm. Think about all those teams we just listed. Okay, I think it's 100. Did we mention that? It's 135. Sounds right.
I think so.
All of those teams, only 2 teams, Katy Jordan and Amherst, were the only 2 teams to drop out of the rankings, and everything else was more or less the same. So I have a feeling there will be movement next week because of all the games across the state. Of course, we will have you covered every step of the way at TexasFootball.com/rankings. We are Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com. Talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, we're going to be joined by the Director of Recruiting for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Greg Powers, will join us in that chair right there. But first, Pickle, we got to roll out the Week 8 Dave Campbell's Texan Live Top 10 Plays of the Week. Trevor Bullard was hard at work pouring through all of the games across the state of Texas and pulling the top 10 plays of the week that we put together in this cool little montage. Here it is, the Dave Campbell's Texan Live Top 10 Plays of the Week.
Give to Thomas, and he breaks free somehow. He just pops out of the pile, and he is gone. 50-yard touchdown. Scamper for Hubert Thomas.
Kicking off for the Longhorns. They're going to kick it deep. That is a very, very deep kick, caught by Farr. He's going to fake the handoff to number 2. Oh, he tricked him. Farr has a man, has a block, and he's going to score. And this game might. Correction, that's not even Farr. Number 5.
And Conroe trailing by 28. Nunley. Hit as he throws. Willis is there to take it away. Are you kidding me? Touchdown Wildcats. It's Daleon Robinson with 5 seconds to play. In the 25, hands it off to Morales. Left side has a hole. Nobody touched him. Still running down the sideline. Still on his feet. No one tackled him. To the house. Touchdown!
Motioning across the formation. Bootleg.
Hit as he throws, intercepted, intended for Noonan, and that could go all the way. Again, it's Jaden Spellman. He got the big pick 6 against Langham Creek, and he's going to go in for the touchdown.
Finish as advertised. Bledsoe looks right, pumps, throws over the middle, and touchdown.
That's the right call. Henson Airing it out. Down the sidelines. Henson! Oh my goodness! That ball was caught. Jalen Monaghan in the end zone.
Spartan's going to hand this one off the field as he bounces off another defender. Now he gets to the 30, 40. He's up to the 40.
Oh, he breaks free. He splits defenders.
It's a foot race down. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Spartans.
He told.
Down. Taylor looking for Martin on the screen. Finds Martin. Martin breaks one tackle. Now two and now three. Scoop Martin down the sideline. Still on his feet. He cannot be brought down. 64 yards to the house. One-on-one, jump ball, Roberts. Oh, did he get the ball? He got it for the touchdown off the defender's back.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter,
Hi.
Sorry,
there it
Jennifer.
is. Your Dave Campbell's Texan Live Top 10 Plays of the Week, expertly put together by our own Trevor Bullard. You can find those on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Dave Campbell's TF. Another guy you can find on our YouTube page is Greg Powers, Director of Recruiting at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Hi, Greg.
What's up?
How was your weekend?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you hear Chili's talk earlier?
I did not.
Grev.
I had the show on and was listening to most of it, but
there's only one.
Not the most important part.
I was also working.
I have okay, that feels targeted.
Sorry,
No.
let me explain.
No.
I was also writing. Since you're my boss, I wanted to make sure that you knew that I was being productive.
Where's my content?
Did you want me to listen to you more, or did you want me to write more?
It's a great
If
question.
it's Chili's talk, you need to be listening.
Well,
Anything else, you can tune out.
There's one other thing that we can talk about. It's this. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Crootin. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends.
Chicken Express.
At Chicken Express. And let me tell you something. This is about a month ago. I gave Hank a bite of my chicken tenders from Chicken Express. That dude has not stopped hounding me for like a month.
Did you put the serendipity salt on there for him?
I did not. He's 5.5.
He's got to build up.
He's 5.5. And I will say that, like, the serendipity salt is not like spicy, but like he's 5.5. And so like he thinks anything that's not like milk is spicy.
Spicy, yeah.
And so I was worried I was going to be like, oh, I don't like this. And instead I've created a monster.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
He's one of the smartest kids I met. He's going to be able to break down that recipe.
He's like in the lab. Have you seen like those Instagram people who will like what's the word? I'm like, oh God, they'll like decode how to make these recipes. Like,
oh really?
If you want to make like the
cane sauce,
yeah, or if you want to make like the serendipity salt, like they'll find a way to do it. That'd be really.
That's a good follow, probably.
There you go. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting. A lot to get to here. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise. We go to Reagan County.
Let's do it.
To talk about their senior athlete, Cason Brown. 6'4", 190, and suddenly people are starting to pay attention to the huge guy because he has been laying the lumber at safety and wide receiver there. They are 6-1 to start the year, in large part thanks to him. And as a result, picking up a couple offers and starting to be one of those guys that may be one of these late steals here.
Yeah, this was one of the guys who, we're deep in DCTF Rising magazine season right now. And we want to leave no stone unturned, right? Mm-hmm. Well, out in West Texas is a sleeper in Cason Brown who, I think that I like him as a safety, but he's so athletic. He's 190 pounds. He's a multi-sport athlete. Could he potentially even grow bigger and be a linebacker in due time? I mean, I think that his frame suggests that that's a possibility, but if not, he's got plenty of playmaking skills as a wide receiver, and he's pretty quick and athletic as a safety, showing good range. But what I really liked that popped on his tape for me is he's not afraid to stick his nose in and hit.
No.
I really like that about his game as well. So I think that Cason Brown is a player that more schools are starting to track. Texas State, UTEP, Cornell, New Mexico, and Tulsa have already offered him, so he's up to a handful of scholarship offers right now, and all of those have poured in, most of them in, over the past 2, 3, 4 weeks. So one of the hottest prospects in the state in 2025 out at Big Lake. Just like doing this thinking, man, West Texas is huge, right? Like there's a lot of territory out there in West Texas, and Cason Brown out there playing for Reagan County deserves some more attention.
Yeah, he's been a guy that has been instrumental to what has been the Owls' really hot start, and a name to know. And obviously, if you got a playmaker like that, you can make some noise. Especially when you're talking about a 2A playmaker like that in Cason Brown. You need to remember the name. Let's continue this week in recruiting as I pull my thing back up with our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going Central Texas to Copperas Cove to talk about their 2025 senior wide receiver, Tristan Glass. Tristan Glass pulled the trigger this week, flipping his commitment from Colorado State to Wake Forest. He's a guy who's a 4-year varsity starter there for the Bulldogs with a W, and has been a guy who's also got that versatility and, more importantly, that multi-sport athleticism that I know is becoming more and more kind of the coin of the realm.
It was interesting, Colorado State, he actually decommitted from Colorado State, and then about a week later, he took an official visit or a visit to Wake Forest and then committed to the Demon Deacons. And I think this is a steal for Wake Forest. Glass has been extremely consistent at his time playing for the Cove as a high school player. And then anytime I've seen him in the camp setting or in the circuit, he's been a guy that's been very productive. It's hard to lock him down because he's got that vertical ball winning ability, but he's sneaky good at it. Like, he's one of those receivers who kind of like lulls you to sleep and then hits you for a big play over the top out of nowhere. But I think he's got a pretty well-rounded game as well. He can move the chains. He can run routes. He does the small things well, and I think that's important. And I think that's why you saw him get early playing time. It's not easy in Texas high school football playing as a freshman, but he was able to rack up around 175 yards his freshman year and then improve his production year over year, which I also think is an important marker when evaluating a prospect, is how do they make improvements and what do they do. And Glass continues to be a guy that I think more people should talk about in this state.
Yeah, this is a guy who's a DCTF 3-star prospect, looks the part, 6'4", 175. And just like long strides. Like he takes 3 steps and he's gone 7 yards.
I love that you said that.
Yeah, he's a real strider in the open field, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And he can high point the ball as well. You see this, getting free and catching it, and just look how quickly he accelerates, kind of effortlessly.
Yeah, he's a high jump guy too. So I think he's got really good high jump numbers, which really shows through on the tape. As you guys catch me, so our TV's over here. We got to watch. We watch the highlights over here on our TV, and I was in awe of just watching that last play.
He's a playmaker for sure, and now committed to the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Let's round it all out with our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week, going to the DFW Metroplex to talk about Southlake Carroll's junior wide receiver Brock Boyd, who is a TCU commit and is now the newest 4-star prospect in the class of 2026, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Greg Powers watched him enough and said, I've seen enough. He's a 4-star prospect.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that was kind of like an instant 4-star upgrade. That first clip that you watched was at the game I was at this past weekend against Justin Northwest, where he kind of took over the game. He averaged over 33.75 yards per catch in that contest. He kind of took over. Why I feel like he's a 4-star talent is that he can do a little bit of everything. He has an expanded route tree already. He's the son of a coach, so he plays with the high IQ. He blocks well. He has enough bravado. He plays with enough swagger that I really like that about his game, that he's not going to be intimidated by a corner who, is trying to press him, or a guy that has a bunch of offers and stars next to his name. He looks forward to that competition, and I like that. I interviewed Brock Boyd after the game, and the audio didn't work out, so I'm going to recap what Boyd said for you guys here today. So after the game, he had a tremendous performance at helping to knock off previously unbeaten Justin Northwest. And he talked about the development of his confidence on the field that's helped him push his game to the next level. But he also spoke candidly about the relationship that he has with South Lake quarterback Angelo Renda. They've been playing together since they were young. So he says they go back to the Pee Wee days together, and you can see that rapport shine through on the tape. Boyd's also committed to TCU. And the reason why he picked the Horned Frogs was because he felt like they have done a good job in the Sonny Dykes era of producing wide receivers who have went on to the league. And that caught his attention. Of course, South Lake and TCU, stone's throw away. It's not really that far. So it's like the hometown team. But the thing that really caught his attention in the moment that he pulled his trigger on the commitment to TCU over 23 other scholarship offers was that potential to get developed into the league. So, Brock Boyd, you did a tremendous interview. The audio didn't work out. There's a recap for you.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I think that is one of the places where TCU, I know they're struggling this year, but like, there's no doubt that at the receiver spot, they've hit home runs. Like Quentin Johnston obviously has been fantastic. Jack Beck, their wide receiver this year, has been great. Savion Williams. I mean, this team has put out big time prospects at the wide receiver. Like, they've developed them well. And even if that's not, I think it's important. I think people are like, oh, well, like, why would you stay committed to a team that's maybe not playing at the highest level right now? Those are the types of things and those types of relationships where prospects remember. Prospects are like, oh yeah, like, you're the kind of guy who can make me the best kind of player that I can be.
I agree with that, and I think it'll be interesting too, because I think that Boyd is a type of talent now that he may have 4 stars on some of the other services already and stuff, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But he's the type of talent that other colleges aren't just going to give up on him really easy, right? Like, there are going to be teams that press TCU to try to flip him, and deservedly so, because he has the skill set that you should try it.
Well, and he's got South Lake Carroll rolling right now.
Yeah, no doubt. What I really like about him is his versatility, because I think he can play slot or outside receiver. So there isn't a team out there that probably doesn't have a spot for him, because you could project him to either position. So colleges are just going to keep coming.
Absolutely. Brock Boyd, a name to know, the newest star receiver there at South Lake Carroll, the TCU commit, our underclassman of the week. Where are you going this week? It's a big week of games.
So Thursday, I know that you had an out-of-town trip that I couldn't commit to. Thursday, Garland, Lakeview Centennial and Garland at Homer B. Johnson Stadium. And then Prosper and Allen at Eagle Stadium on Friday, which I think is going to be a real fun game. This is my second year in a row to do that game, and as you guys know, I'm a man of tradition.
You are a man of tradition. I'm excited to hear your report here next Monday on Texas Football Today. He's Greg Powers. And by the way, watch Heart and Hustle.
Yeah, every Thursday, 2 p.m.
On our YouTube page. Go make sure you check that out. He's Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter, GPowersCouts. He has fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts / Mailbag.
Follow up Monday here to see if you did what you said that you were going to do. I don't think you did. Did y'all ever figure out who has the most losses in still one state?
Yes. But I'm not going to tell you right now. It feels like 5.
He did not.
I didn't do the work.
What?
Maybe we'll have follow-up Thursday.
I'm curious about that too, but I think this isn't the answer, but I feel like the Cy-Fair team that dominated in their state championship win, what was that, 5 or 6 years ago, entered that game with at least 3 losses.
Yeah.
That can't be the number, though.
He said he was confident he thought it was 4, but maybe there was a 5th one.
Did that North Crowley team in 2004? First off, I mean, like that. North Crowley 2003 is sticking out to me. Let me see if I can find that real quick. You're listening to live coverage.
I thought they won in like 01.
They were 03. I'm fairly certain. Let's see. Let me go back to here. You're listening to live coverage of me seeing.
The answer to that question is no.
Let's see.
He did not find it out.
I did not find it out. I'm a liar. But we all knew that. Oh, North Crowley was 10-4 when they won the state championship in 2003.
So at least 4.
At least 4. So that was the one that stuck out to me.
There's your unofficial pick.
I'm going to go ahead and say that that's the record.
So I was totally wrong about the Cy-Fair team. I just, in my mind, I think that they lost games.
They did lose some games. That was 2017 they won?
Yeah, I can't.
That feels like 2017, 6AD2. Why is my brain broken?
I could barely remember when you asked me where I was going this week.
No, Cy-Fair. Cypher was undefeated, buddy.
Yay! See.
Texas high school football experts.
Has a football
I was at the game.
Has a football game ever been played on any type of field other than football, baseball, or soccer? It seems
What an
good. There's
odd
a
question.
football. San Saba plays on a graveyard.
Yeah, does that count? So, like, I guess, I mean, there have been games played in, like, city parks. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I don't really like baseball.
No other sporting event, though.
Yeah, they didn't play one in, like, a swimming pool.
You can't do
if that's what you're
softball.
asking.
Softball's way too short.
Too small. They didn't play it on, like a cricket field.
No, you're not doing basketball, Jim, clearly.
No, not without attitude. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. What was the Astrodome? It was a baseball stadium, but also a football stadium, but also...
It's like Globe Life.
Yeah, like Globe Life. I don't know.
That's a baseball field, I guess. I'm counting it. I'm counting that as a baseball
Rangers
field.
won a World Series there. I don't know if you guys remember that.
While watching Anna versus Walnut Grove, I noticed their Prosper's QB is a freshman. Do you see a future for him as a Power 4 QB?
I'll say I can't speak to the Walnut Grove quarterback, but I can tell you that Walnut Grove is they're ahead of schedule right now. Like, what they're doing right now is really impressive. And they are a team that I think is going to be a problem moving forward. They're pulling, like, we know that the Prosper area is really rich with talent, right? Prosper, of course, has been excellent for a number of years. I think that they are pulling from Rock Hill as well, which is probably going to be at the detriment of Rock Hill. But Walnut Grove, especially on the offensive side, I mean, they were lighting it up offensively last year. It was like a non-UIL program. They were playing like a outlaw schedule and hanging like 60 burgers on people. Their offense is absolutely legit. Did you find the quarterback?
Yeah, I already know who the quarterback is. I was trying to make sure I had the right name because there's two Hackneys in the class of 2028 that we're going to be covering. One of them plays at Mesquite Horn and one of them plays at Prosper Walnut Grove.
There's two Hackney quarterbacks.
There's two Hackney quarterbacks that are
in DFW
that will be like recruits, like high-profile recruits.
Are they cousins?
I don't know the answer to that.
Aren't we all cousins?
I don't know the answer to that, but it's Hayes Hackney who plays at Prosper Walnut Grove, Montrell Hackney who plays at Mesquite Horn. Hayes is a guy that I've already got on my radar. As a matter of fact, they have a couple of players in that 2028 class that I'm already tracking. In addition to Hayes Hackney at Prosper Walnut Grove, they also have a defensive tackle named Christopher Williams, who's really starting to pop off and have a really sound year. So, yes, the answer to that is yes. I do think that Hackney has P4 potential. Without getting to see him throw in person, I'd probably fall short of saying it's a lock that he will be playing at the next level. Say TBD on how high he's going to rise, but he's definitely a guy that we're tracking already in that class and has potential to be in that DCTF Rising magazine. So subscribe and pick up your copy so you can see it.
That's a sell is what that is. You got one more? Are we done?
No, we're done.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to Houston Worthing head coach Brandon Ellis for being our guest and for Greg Powers for just being you.
Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate that a lot.
For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you Thursday on Texas Football Today.